Hey there, I'm Ashley, and welcome to AshyMuted, the show that you're probably not watching right now. I shouldn't have picked such a niche topic to make videos about as my main focus, but on this channel I'll be talking about the Chao. If you don't know what Chao are, they are virtual pets that were introduced into the Sonic franchise, starting with Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. They were meant to capitalize on the, at the time, very popular virtual pet craze. Think of, Tamagotchi and stuff like that. In the game's hub areas, you could find these small sections called Chao Gardens, where you could find eggs that would hatch into these small little adorable creatures called Chao. And as you played through the game's main levels, you would get items, mostly these small animals, that you could go back to the garden and give to your Chao to enhance them. They have levels that go up with the animals that you give them. Of course, the different stats correlate to different abilities. Of course, Sonic Adventure ended up getting a sequel, Sonic Adventure 2, and that game not only built on the normal gameplay of the first game, but it also brought back the Chao Garden and expanded it a lot. A lot of Chao fans, including myself, play Sonic Adventure 2 just for the better Chao Garden. Not only is it a lot more accessible in this game, but there are just a lot more options to raise your Chao. You don't need to use the animals and deal with all of the sort of weird stat issues that they come with, and you can instead use these things called the Chaos Drives, which are basically the small animals, but they increase a single stat type at a time, and don't really have any physical effects on your Chao. You're really meant to just go back to the Chao Garden every couple of main levels to check on your Chao for small bits of time, and those small bits of time are really supposed to just add up over your playtime of the game, because as you're playing and replaying the main levels to get better at them, improve your time, your score, your rank, all that, you're getting more and more stat items, and you can level up your Chao more and raise them better. As you raise your Chao over time, they'll grow and eventually hit an evolution stage where they will go from a child Chao to an adult Chao, and they'll also take on different forms depending on how you raise them. If you played as a good-aligned character and treated them nicely, they'll turn into what's called a hero Chao. If you played as a dark-aligned character and treated them nicely, they'll turn into Dark Chao. If you played as a hero-aligned character and treated them poorly, they turn into a Dark Chao. And if you played as a dark-aligned character and treat them poorly, they turn into a hero Chao. Going with a mix of both just makes them turn into what's known as a neutral Chao, which is pretty similar to how they were as a child, with some slight differences. How you raise their stats also affects their evolution. They will take on different looks, and their abilities will be raised by a letter rank that they have. So if you give your Chao a lot of fly animals or drives, and they evolve, they will turn into a fly Chao, and if their letter grade for fly is a B and they evolve into a fly Chao, it'll go up to an A. Having a higher letter grade in a stat increases the number that stat gets on level up. Your Chao continues to age even after this evolution, and after a specific amount of time has passed, they will basically die. But if you kept them happy enough, they'll reincarnate and keep their stat grades but everything will be reset to level 1, and they will turn back into a child. Reincarnating makes it possible to raise stat grades with each life cycle, meaning that it's possible, after a long amount of time, to get a Chao with all S ranks in their stats. Now you're probably wondering what these stats even do. I keep talking about them, but I haven't really brought up their purpose yet. Well, if you go over into this waterfall, you'll see that there are basically two Chao sports, Chao race and Chao karate. Chao race pits your Chao in a race against other Chao. And these races can use basically all of their stats for stuff like swimming, gliding, obviously running, and climbing up walls. Chao karate, on the other hand, is basically exactly what it sounds like. You put your Chao in a ring and it fights. Now that we've gone over what Chao are and what they do, you're probably wondering, what about the lore? Good question. If I was making this video before November of 2022, I wouldn't have anything to say, but for some reason, Sonic Frontiers gave us Chao lore. These fuckers are called the Ancients. They're aliens that fled from their home planet after it was destroyed by horrors beyond our comprehension. They arrived on Sonic's planet after being led there by the Chaos Emeralds, which are also from this alien race's home planet. Yeah, I know, don't ask, don't bring it up. Anyway, the Chaos Emeralds led the Ancients to Earth because of the Master Emerald, which isn't native to their home planet, but is also connected to the Chaos Emeralds. I don't know, man. Anyway, the Ancients settled on the Starfall Islands, but oops, the horrors beyond our comprehension followed them, and wiped out nearly all of them. The few survivors fled, presumably, to Angel Island, where over time they evolved into Chao. Don't ask how sentient alien beings turned into pets. They just did. The game tells us that there were survivors that fled.
I'm so used to using the Chaos Emeralds, it's kinda hard to accept they're from space.
Yes, they were central to the Ancients' power and native to their world. They are the only things that can awaken all the functions on the island, and were taken away with the last survivors to another land.
But the game also tells us that the Ancients are ancestors of Chaos, the villain from the first Sonic Adventure game.
I don't believe this. I had Sage run a diagnostic on the recorded genetic data of the Ancients, and then against archives I have with me. They are relatives of Chaos, the god of destruction. After countless years, their DNA corroded to the point they were completely transformed into a new species. Some kind of radiation affected them for eons, making them unrecognizable. Except to a genius like me.
Who is a mutated Chao. Speaking of Chaos, I've completely forgotten to mention the Chaos Chao. To get a Chaos Chao, your Chao must have reincarnated at least twice. And then on the evolution cycle that you decide that you want to make them a Chaos Chao on, you must give them at least one of every single type of small animal in the game. After all of this, they have to evolve into a neutral Chao, which is why it's best to just give them exactly one of every small animal type. And then finally, upon reincarnation, you will see that they have turned into this thing. And a music cue will play. This is my Chaos Chao, Flimney. Don't ask why she's named that, I just thought those syllables sounded funny together. A couple months back, I thought it would be fun to get an all S rank Chaos Chao. But then I sort of got lazy and thought it would just be funny to stop at all B ranks, so now she's just the Chao of all time. Raising Flimney sort of got me thinking though, and it made me realize that I really enjoy raising Chao, and I had been kind of struggling to figure out what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel. So then I just decided I'll become the world's second Chao tuber. So I found a Chao editor and recreated Flimney in my PC copy of Sonic Adventure 2, where she now lives a happy, eternal life. If you can't tell, she'll sort of be the mascot for this channel going forward. So, on this channel, I'll be doing basically any Chao-related thing that I can personally think of. That includes, obviously, talking about them, but most importantly, raising them. And what's a series without a big, major end goal? So I've decided that for this series, I'll finally be going through with the thing that made me want to do this in the first place, and I will finally raise a full S-rank Chaos Chao. Of course, that's going to take a long time, so I'm going to be doing tons of stuff in the downtime of that major goal. Of course, again, I'm using the PC version of the game here, so that also means I'm going to be using some mods. Nothing too major, but stuff that is really just here to enhance the experience. I'll also be utilizing a Chao editor, but not for anything too major. I do want this to be mostly legitimate. It's just going to be for minor, usually more aesthetic stuff. A list of the mods I'm going to be using throughout this series will be put on screen right now, as well as the name of the editor I'll be using. Links to them should be in the description too. So join me next time, where I'll finally be starting this series for real, actually this time. Like, I'm not gonna, do 2 episodes, be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and then, take 2 years to figure out what I actually want to do, and then just sort of brush the stuff I did at the start as a pilot episode. No, I'm doing this for real this time. Okay, pretend I ended this on a funny joke.